What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today is another red day. I'm going to break it down for you whether this is going to be a continuation or what is going to cause us to reverse. I'm going to lay that all down for you. But before I get into any of that, you definitely know the deal by now. Smash your thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. Also, don't forget to pop over to my Discord. Link in the description below. It's a free chat. And with that said, let's get right to it. So you can see on the live ticker to my left, we are currently down 2.22%, 10.8 million as far as overall volume, so that hands down stands out. We are well below even our low average, so that's definitely very odd today. 50.8 million the average, that is a 6-month average, and 663,000 shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just today alone. So even in that regard, it is fairly low. All of that is a big change from yesterday, so I'm going to break it down for you. What is going to cause us to reverse? But quickly, just looking at the intraday chart as well, a lot of volatility. So hopefully we did find a floor at the around $20.60 mark, but I'm going to break it down for technicals because in my opinion, what happened over the last several days was largely technical driven, especially looking at a lot of the technicals. Everything was showing as oversold. So I'm going to break that all down for you. Right now, the 5100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. Stochastic is extremely cheap at 10. So that shows a very oversold signal, but there is starting to have a little bit of deviation, very minor, but starting to happen to black line above the red, showing a bearish sentiment at least is wanting to come out. Momentum, you can see number of buyers is down significantly. More so even where my cursor is, which is exactly at 0. Anything below that shows that we're physically losing buyers on the daily basis. And looking at RSI is currently at 39, which is very, very low as well. And on the actual chart, technically still lower percent of the Bollinger Band, but we did have a little bit of momentum yesterday to try and get out of the rut that we were on. Obviously a very much downward trend. And when it comes down to it though, we did and are technically between S2 and S1. So $21.75 is that pivot point that we did break past, unfortunately. But looking here, 1995, that's again something to watch for. But when it comes down to it though, I do strongly feel the only thing to get us out of this rut, and unfortunately I hate to say it, but it is relying on Tesla. So in case you do not know, after hours, in roughly about 2 hours from now, Tesla is going to have their earnings. There's going to be a lot of big things that they do talk on, and there was this Twitter post that does address some of it, such as the Shanghai status, whether they shut things down, but I do strongly feel it's their future guidance. And if they are still citing supply chain issues, similar to what just happened recently with NIO as well. So definitely a lot of people will be watching their earnings, even if they're technically not even Tesla investors. The whole EV market is going to be on Tesla's shoulders this upcoming earnings in a couple hours. So like I said, unfortunately it does suck to say that unfortunately we're relying on Tesla, but it is how it is. Unfortunately, until we actually get our own production down packed and everything, we are going to be piggybacking off of Tesla's success and also their misfortunes as well. Especially considering as well, looking back previously, you can see this big red candle right here. That is when Tesla did cite supply chain issues. You can even tell based on what Tesla said, which was chip related, and at the end of the day there was no justifiable factor for Lucid whatsoever, because our issue is more carpet and glass and things along those lines, not necessarily physical chips. So again, that whole attribute does suck. But that aside though, there's still a lot of good things coming out, more specifically about the AMP facility. So there's a lot of kind of pictures on this just 4 months ago. Look at the progress, and it goes to show exactly when we are going to be done phase 2, which will be very soon in my opinion, especially on the momentum that they're on. So that's a very good thing to know, and especially when it comes down to Lucid, unfortunately, there is a lot of good things to know, but not really big, massive reasons why you need to buy. That's one thing that unfortunately the whole market, not necessarily just Lucid or EVs, has been lacking recently. Everyone's just been stagnant, waiting for the feds to either increase rates a lot more or just either give a little bit more transparency. So that's where we're currently at right now. But when it comes down to it, I just want to give you a quick update on some short activity. So right now, looking at this, 20.26 is a short interest, up roughly about 2% from 1 week prior, and that is insane. The fact that we're at 21%, utilization is 100%, day by day chain pretty stagnant today. It is actually negative, so they are closing out 333,000 shares. Cost to borrow is absolutely so cheap, 4.01% is the cost to borrow. So it definitely is going to be a little bit more incentivizing shorts to increase their position, especially if cost to borrow does stay this low. So overall, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash your thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you are going to be watching and listening in on Tesla's earnings, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. I will be as well, because I do strongly feel, especially I will be watching the ticker after hours to see exactly what is said in the Tesla earnings, to see if it does roll over into the price of Lucid. It's a little bit more of a fun fact, but with all that said though, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.